What's going on, Fins fan? Brand new episode, FinsUpTalk. Today is March 5th. Man, the Combine, man. We got some updates for you guys. Chad, very excited, dude. I'm pumped, man. We had a powerful prayer right before starting this podcast, and I'm feeling so much better. Chad, how you doing today, my man?
Juan, things are great. Let me just say this. So I got this fancy computer that I've been trying to set up. I finally set up to use this thing, which I believe we have the same one.
Yeah.
Juan, here's the issue. My MacBook Air doesn't have this.
I had to get this. I'm using this extension over here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll send you the link. Yeah.
Send me the link, bro. The Amazon Prime next day delivery is going to be clutch because, yeah, man. I was so excited. I'm like, ooh, dude, fine. The microphone's going to be in the way. I'm going to be able to connect it all. Nah, bro. It's not meant to be right now. It's okay. It's okay. Juan, we're doing well. We're blessed. Never stressed, or I should say always stressed, but have a perfect savior that's there for us. But Combine was insane. I can't wait to talk to you about it, about your boy, D'Angelo Pons. I can't wait to talk in depth about Sonny Styles, who we said was going to blow it up. I said Brendan Thompson was going to be the fastest 40, and he was. I'm just pumped, bro. I'm pumped to talk about that. Pumped to say that I believe it's, Monday's the legal tamping period, and then Wednesday.
I want to say yes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, here's the beauty of finally setting up a computer. I can look. So NFL legal tampering period. I believe it's Monday, but let me cross-check that. Yeah, Monday the 9th. So officially, we are here. We will learn about all these deals. We will learn about all these things, then find out. So I'm excited, brother. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I'm eager to get your take on the Combine. I know you're big with Sonny Styles, and he killed it. And that's a player that we know when it's the Dolphins' turn to pick, it is very probable that he's going to be on the board. So it's exciting times. D'Angelo Pons, I know he's 5'8", but man, that guy, dude, there's just something about him, man, that I know what they use to measure these guys says one thing, but the play on the field, the eye test, he passes it. And it's the same with Ruben Bain, our guy. The short arms. Listen, if you guys want to use that, I'm all for it, man. If he drops down to number 11, I hope everybody's listening to that. And I hope the Dolphins are smart enough to not fall for it.
Yeah. Look, brother, I actually think the opposite when it comes to Sonny. I think he's going to be a top 6 pick now. Unfortunately, I know he's an off-ball linebacker, but people forget that he started off as a safety. So by him being a safety before, it gave him the flexibility to read the ball differently, to cover. And then they moved into off-ball linebacker. In 24, he wasn't triggering, right, because he was playing a new position. This year, he put it all together. Then he goes to the freaking Combine, gets a Hercules-esque test, 4.46, 43-inch vertical, 10.2 broad jump or something crazy like that. Killed it in the bench press, and then his tape. He's that rare combination of incredible tape and incredible athletes. Again, Sonny is sensational. I don't think he makes it past 6. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised. Call me crazy if the Jets take him at 2. I would hate it, but I wouldn't be surprised because he's just explosive, man. Your boy D'Angelo, the thing that I always say is the eye in the sky does not lie. And his tape, bro, he's going up against dogs. I mean, he put C.J. Daniels, who's our guy, in a spin cycle, dude. He couldn't get off of him. This is the same guy that was literally going against the Jeremiah Smiths of the world. He was doing his thing. He was going against Oregon's DeCarrion Moore, who, yeah, he was a true freshman, but he was putting other highly touted players in hell. And D'Angelo Pons, sure, he's listed at 5'8". He's an explosive athlete. And he reminds me a lot of, and it's obviously they play different positions, the Budda Bakers, the Tyrann Matthews, but he has that fight. He has that dog that I think he'll do well. So, yeah, man, my thoughts on the Combine are obviously it was the fastest that we've seen of every position group except quarterback. So defensive line, offensive line, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, all of them fastest that we've seen. So it's clearly an incredibly athletic one. I agree with you about Ruben Bain. Please be dumb enough to let this man fall and us happily take him, because here's my fear, Juan, and I said this to you in the last episode. We're going to be picking at 11 if we can't find out a trade-down partner. I believe our guys think that our biggest need is edge. If Ruben Bain is gone, if Arvell Reese is gone, if David Bailey's gone, which that's very likely, there's this guy, Keldrick Falk, that if we take him at 11, it's going to be one of those ones where I'm going to get on board because I'm a Dolphins fan. I mean, clearly, but you don't take yes, he's 20. Yes, he's young. Yes, he can grow into it. The sack production. You and I talked about taking productive players that were productive in college and then going into the NFL so that we don't end up with the Chop Robinson. You can't create 6'5", 275, which is what Keldrick Falk is, and he looks like Leonidas from 300. But you don't take a run specialist, a run stuffing specialist edge at pick 11. You do want to trade down to 19, 24, but if we take him, especially if a Caleb Downs is on the board, if a Francis Mauigoa is on the board, that will drive me insane.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. As you're saying that, my mind, I can't help it. I'm getting upset. I don't mean to get upset, but I'm like, this is a new front office. I don't want to see that. If we end up getting Falk and there's an opportunity to get a Jermod McCoy, a CC Mauigoa, which I don't think the Dolphins would do that. I really...
They can't, right, Juan? They can't do that.
I don't know what I would do, but it won't be good. I would have to go for a walk. That's my thing when I'm stressed out. I go for long walks. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that we're smarter than that. And even in the later first round, I really, truly hope we don't get a player like that. Jermod McCoy, I feel like he's going to be there. What's the corner's name from LSU? I can never pronounce it right.
Mansour Delaney.
You know, those are some guys that I'm looking at. If we can't get somebody in the trenches, get somebody that could shut down their side of the field. Or like you said, Caleb Downs, right? Type of players that they impact the game in more than just one way. And I'll happily eat crow if Falk is that guy and we end up drafting him, but I'm not going to be happy if it ends up being the case.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Chad, because, and I think you've told me before, you don't like doing this, but player comparison to some of the guys that we like, right?
Yep.
Like, for example, D'Angelo Ponce. And I'm making this comparison primarily to his size, but also to his cover ability. Brent Grimes, Mighty Mouse.
Oh, yeah.
Shutdown corner. Very similar in stature, speedy guys. He shut down some of the best receivers back when he was a Miami Dolphin. And D'Angelo Ponce, to your point, he shut down some big receivers. The Washington receiver that's projected to go in the first round, Jeremiah Smith went toe-to-toe with him. C.J. Daniels went toe-to-toe with him. A freshman receiver from Oregon. And he doesn't, for a corner his size, maybe this is where, the Brett Grimes comparison could only go so much. He actually helps the run defense. He's not afraid to put his head down and make a tackle. So, player comparison, I would say Brent Grimes.
I love it.
But run. He could help with the run as well.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that, and that is a perfect comparison from an athletic standpoint, size. Plays outside, because typically when you see 5'8", you think inside the slot. I love that comparison. And you're right. I'm not a comparison guy, because what happens is, Juan, and I know it's great for fans. We hear it, and then we immediately can be like, oh, he's going to be this type of player. But what ends up happening the next year and the year after, it's now we're comparing other players to those players. So that's why I don't like player comparison as much, because I'm like, I can't compare Jeremiah Love to Bijan Robinson, because in 2 years, people are going to be comparing other players to Jeremiah Love. So I try to take them at face value. Now, I understand the need and the fun in it. This is what I want to ask you, Juan. I want to do a segment, and I want to call, how we have That's So Dolphins? Let's go That's So Frustrating. And I say that because you literally just said, I would be upset and have to take a walk. So Juan, I want to ask you 3 prospects that we draft that are going to make you that so frustrated.
For sure, Keldrick Falk. If we get him, okay. I'm going to have to go for a walk. If we get Cardinal Tate, which I know his measurables are there, top 10, top 15, I still have that image, alligator arms. Didn't really, I don't want to say he didn't produce, but he wasn't the best receiver, which maybe is unfair, playing for the Buckeyes. You got Jeremiah Smith, which is a generational talent, but I want to get somebody who is that guy. I would much rather have Jeremiah Smith. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But Cardinal Tate, you know how I feel about him, and I'm most likely wrong. That's just something personal with me, and it's okay. And I'm thinking, who would be that third guy? Because there's some names where I've gone back and forth with, and I've told you about Mekhi Lemon and how I would like to have somebody like that on the team, but he doesn't have that size that we're looking for. But I don't think I'll get mad. I wouldn't go for a walk if we drafted somebody like him.
Tell you what, it would be one heck of a freaking media day. Did you see that dude's media?
That was weird, man. I was like, where is he going with this? He's trying to be somebody that he's not.
Dog, I had one of my buddies say, bro, he's on something. Look, personally, I told Mekhi Lemon, I was saying Mekhi Lemon reminded me of Amon-Ra for literal months. And
right.
You know what? I truly think he's just a dog. Like, I think he just is so focused on football and getting hit and hitting people as a receiver. I think he plays receiver like a running back. So it was weird, though. Whoever, his new PR person, they need to work on him a little bit.
There was some sugar in the tank there, it felt like. I don't know, it was kind of weird, but
it was a little different.
I was looking online just now, the Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon. Yeah. I do want a tight end, but I don't think somebody like Sadiq, especially at number 11, would be a good pick. I don't think that'll happen. I think the much more probable player would be Keldrick Falk. So with a player like Falk, I would go outside. I'll leave my phone inside the house and I don't want to hear from anybody. I just need time to myself. That's just not think about anything. But those would be my 3 picks.
Okay. It's funny. So Kendrick Sadiq, they're 1% type of athlete. Literally fastest tight end in combine history. I'm with you on taking him at 11, but if we trade down and get a pick and get him at 15, I'm cool. But my thing is, to your point, and then I'll tell you my 3, I'm infatuated with this tight end class because of the depth. My guy, the guy I'm putting my stake in the ground for, and I've mentioned him to you a couple of times, but Sam Roush, the Stanford tight end, is everything I want and more. Everything.
Really? Okay.
I think he put himself in the 3rd round. The dude is, and you're going to have to check his measurables, I believe it's 6'5", 267. He's a big boy. Ran a 4.7. He was like a 9.7 on the RAS out of 10. And he played in an offense that they were allergic to throwing the ball. Literally. So he has NFL scheme like already. He's blocked. He can play in line. He can split out wide. You're going to get about – he just screams Green Bay Packers, and he has everything in me excited. So you have Sam Roush. You have the Notre Dame tight end that I can't think of his name right now that had the 2 ACL tears, who I'm liking a lot. I think it's Radin or like Eli Radin or something Radin.
Let me look him up.
Yep. And then Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt, who's another dog.
Yeah, that's the name that I like. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not familiar with the other 2 guys, so I'm excited. I'm looking them up right now.
Yeah, I'll just say this. There is tight ends that are going to go in the 3rd and 4th round that are going to be day 1 starters. So I'm pumped about that. So I'm glad you brought up tight end, and that's why I think, yes, Sadiq is clearly tight end 1, but there's such good depth. It's the Caleb Downs conversation. I told you he's my number 1 overall prospect, but there's 8 other tight end or 8 other safeties that are so good that it's like take Francis Marianoa if Caleb and Francis are both there. The 3 players won that would drive me insane. You ready? Number 1. Keldrick Falk, for everything I said earlier. 6'6", 270. We want to add beef and toughness. I'm great. That's awesome. That's great. We don't need that type of player right now. We need a pass rusher that can get to the quarterback. Can he develop into that? Sure. Do we have time? Yeah. But that's just not a pick you make at 11. That's a pick you make at 18, 19, 20, 22, 24. The second one, Juan, number 2, Ty Simpson. If we take Ty Simpson, somebody's going to hear it. Juan, I might call you and yell at you. If I'm being honest, you might hear it. I'm going to yell at you as if you made the pick because we're not there. Ty Simpson is not there. I just listened to Mike Mayock talking about the quarterbacks that had been drafted with 14 or less starts. Dwayne Haskins, RIP. Mitchell Trubisky. Ryan Tannehill. I know. I feel it already. Cam Newton. That one was the good one. And there was one other one that I can't think on the top of my head. He's not ready. We're not ready. We need to build this from the ground up. We take Ty Simpson, I will lose it. And the third one, you and I talked about this man very, very, very early. And I told you, Juan, I told you this then before the season started. You know where this is going. I said, Juan, if we do that, if Peter Woods finds his way in a Dolphins jersey, Juan. I'm gonna yell at you twice. I'm gonna yell at you. I'm gonna yell at you the first time because you said it before the season started. Then I'm gonna yell at you the second time because we actually did it. The reason why Peter Woods could very well end up being a great player. We invested in 3 defensive tackles this last offseason. Kenny Grant, Jordan Phillips, Zeke Biggers. And Zeke Biggers and Jordan Phillips looked good. Kenneth Grant started to come on, and we already have Zach Sealer. You don't take a Peter Woods at pick 11 when you have so many other needs, and he, to me, is barely a first rounder. I could be very wrong. Like, I'm pointing at myself. I could be wrong. But Juan, if we take Peter Woods, that's so frustrated, I'm going to let out the wrath on you, brother. The wrath.
Hey, I'm here for it, man. You know, with Peter Woods, I do feel like it's a situation where they were moving him around too much. I do think he's better than what the tape showed for this year. But I'm with you. You already invested in the guys that you just mentioned. You have to look elsewhere. And I actually want to remove a name because maybe, I'm not sure if this is against the rules, but
It's fine. Hey.
As you were saying it, I can envision myself walking outside and needing some fresh air and screaming at myself, right? If we get Ty Simpson, dude, I will lose it. I will lose it. I'll remove Sadiq, and it's nothing against Sadiq. I'm mentioning his name. It's not that I'm saying I wouldn't want a player like Sadiq on the team.
Yeah.
We're drafting 11, and that's who we pick. We're building from the ground up. And if you're building from the ground up, what franchise do you know pick the tight end, start to start building again? I don't know a team. I mean, if you're drafting in the first round and you have a surefire thing like a Rob Gronkowski, but you need quarterback, you need defensive end, you need your corner, you need your safety, you need linebackers, you're not going to, even if it's for sure, you're just not going to do it. So it's nothing against Sadiq. I wouldn't mind getting him later if we're able to move back and collect some more draft picks. But that name you just mentioned right now, Ty Simpson, no, dude. Ain't no way. And maybe he does. Maybe he does end up being a very, very good quarterback. But it's not what you would expect from this general manager, from this new front office that we hired. This is not the Green Bay way. So it'll be more of the same, and that in itself would be very disappointing.
I agree.
I don't think that we're saying this, and I know we're making each other upset, and maybe anybody that listens in, they're going to get upset. I do want to say this. This is all obviously hypothetical, and I just don't see any of this happening. Maybe Falk. Maybe
I know. That's where
we draft Falk. That's the only one where I could see, hey, you know what? This guy might be the pick at number 11. He might be a Dolphin. Even then, it wouldn't be that bad.
No, I love where you went. Rob Gronkowski was a second-round pick. Aaron Hernandez, I'm going to be careful with that name. He was a fourth-round pick. He was a fourth-round pick that same draft. You asked what franchise started with drafting a tight end. I'm going to name a franchise to you, Juan, and it's going to prove our point of why you don't do it when you don't have the quarterback, the offensive line, the linebackers, the defense, like you said. Who did the Raiders just draft 2 years ago?
Brock Bowers.
Yep. And the year before that, in the second round, they drafted my boy Michael Mayer. So clearly, these teams, these tight ends, I mean, look at the best tight ends in the NFL right now. George Kittle, 5th-round pick. Trey McBride, 3rd-round pick. Brock Bowers, he's a first-rounder. But, like, the majority of the tight ends that we've seen in the past, Travis Kelce, I believe 3rd-round pick. Rob Gronkowski, 2nd-round pick. Like, these dominant tight ends are not drafted in the first round the way that they used to be, where you had the Vernon Davises, the Greg Olsons, the Jeremy Shockeys. Like, tight end's another one of those positions that you can get in a later round. And maybe, dude, if we were more effective, like if we were the Chiefs.
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna say something crazy. If the Chiefs take Kenyon Sadiq at pick 9, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's crazy, because, dude, Travis Kelce's on the end if he's already not going to be a free agent. You give Pat Mahomes a dynamic player like that in an Andy Reid offense, in a team that they had an off year because their quarterback was hurt, their defense, like, to me, now, especially with the Chiefs just getting that first rounder for Trent McDuffie, you take a Kenyon Sadiq at number 9, and then in the back half, you take a Colton Hood or a Keith Abney at corner. Like, that's such a Chiefs move that now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, man, that actually wouldn't be crazy.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, 100%. If you're somebody like the Chiefs where the foundation is already set, you have Patrick Mahomes, you could take a chance on a freak like Sadiq. It makes sense. But if you do it as a Miami Dolphin, you're just doing what the Raiders just did. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense. And I'm making myself angry. Let me stop. I don't see it.
Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening. We're good.
We're good. We're good.
Fraba.
Goose
We're good.
Fraba.
We're good. We're good. We're good. You guys, he's about to do the little league baseball thing again. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got kicked out. For anybody listening, I got kicked out today of my Little League Baseball team. Very passionate. It's passion. You know, I practice with these kids every single day and trying to turn this thing around, man. I have four kids that didn't win a single game last season in my team. I have four kids just playing their first year of baseball, and I've been working with them every day. And then I go there and the umpire, they're just completely against us. I'm like, dude, this is horrible, man. So I lost it, but very passionate, just like I'm passionate about these Miami Dolphins. And I don't want to make myself upset because I just don't see a world where we draft Sadiq.
No.
Falk, yeah, and I will need to go outside, walk. That would be my therapy. But I know I'll come back to earth and say, hey, you know what? It's a big body. It's the trenches. Maybe it works out. Whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah. For the record, and then I know we can go to the next topic. For the record, I would not be on board with it. I know Kyle Krabs, who I respect his opinion a lot, loves Keldrick Falk. But he also said at 11 that's too rich. But he sees it because, I mean, dude, the guy, when he gets drafted, he's still not going to be old enough to go to the bar and buy a drink. So clearly, like, there's a progression there. Let's think of Akeem Mesidor at 20. He wasn't Akeem Mesidor at 25.
No.
For me, when you're picking a guy at 11, and you know what? I know we're going to do a mock here in a minute. The board might fall, Juan, where our guys, like, I would be okay. I'm gonna name 7 names I would be okay with that we take. Francis Mauigoa, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, David Bailey, Ruben Bain, Gerard McCoy, Oli the Penn State guard. Like, that's 7. There's a world where it goes Fernando Mendoza, Arvell Reese. Then you have the Cardinals, so they're the first third at Francis Mauigoa. The Titans, who my buddy, who's a diehard Titans fan, thinks they're going to take Jeremiah Love. I think 5 is Cleveland. Who is 5? I don't know. We're going to see right now. But there's a world where all the guys that we want are not on the board, and there's not a dynamic enough player for a team to come up and trade with us. So here's the thing, Juan. I just really, really trust John Eric Sullivan and that, like, he's not going to reach for need. I know we need pass rushers. I know. We just extended Cameron Good for 1 year because we literally have no pass rushers other than Chop Robinson. We're going to have Chris McClendon out there, Cam Good, Chop Robinson. Obviously, free agency hasn't happened yet, but, like, don't do the thing where you talked about draft and develop and value and BPA, and then you take Keldrick Falk because there's no way in watching the film he's your number 11 overall player. You just can't, right? Like, that's, at least that's how I feel.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you. And I like our GM too. So I don't see it happening. If it does, I will be upset. I will need that walk, but it won't be as bad as Ty Simpson, where it's like, dude, what are we doing? Because at least with Falk, he's not old enough to even drink at a bar, like you just said. Mesidor is what, 23, 24? He could be that version, and you got a run stuffer, at least.
Yeah. He'll be 25. Mesidor will be 25 when the season starts, bro.
That's insane, right? So he could be that version for us, but at pick number 11 and you're building from the ground up, you want something that's surefire. You don't want to miss.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, but I'm very excited for the next topic. We talked about it last podcast, and I love this. We do it all the time. Chad, I know you do it whenever you have time, and I do it almost every single day as well. Mock drafts.
Yeah, Juan,
Chato.
If you check this out, bro. This is how much I do it. If I go to my phone, look at what is literally there.
Hey.
Dude, it's bookmarked.
That is freaking awesome, man.
Let's do it in my free time.
It's fun. It's fun.
It is.
So, audience, we want to invite you so you could see what it's like drafting with Juan and Chad and Juan over here. And let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen.
Let's roll.
And Chad, if you could share your wisdom here.
Absolutely.
Let me go ahead and just.
How do you want to do this, Juan? Do you want to take the first pick? I'll take the second. You take the third. Are we doing 3 rounds, 4 rounds? What are we doing?
Let's do. You want to do 6 rounds?
I mean,
we don't have a 6th pick, right?
We don't. We have a 7th. Yeah, we have a first, a second, 3 thirds.
Okay.
Fourth, a fifth, and in seventh. We don't have a sixth.
Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, I can.
All right. Awesome. Um, okay. You want to do 5 rounds instead? Would that be good?
I'm down for that.
5 rounds. All right. We'll pick the Dolphins. Draft speed. We're gonna do fast. And let's kick it off. So I know you asked how you want to do it as far as the picks. I guess you can let me know your pick. I'll let you know who I'll go with, and
Okay.
we'll make our argument if it's different and just kind of go from there.
Trades or no trades?
You know what? Let's do trades because I do feel like we are going to make a trade. So we have 2 trade offers. What are you thinking, Chad? Does this move the needle for you?
So this one comes up often when I do these mock drafts, and it feels right because I do think the Rams are going for it, especially after they just traded their first this year for Trent McDuffie. So I do like this. I also do like the percentage below there. Go to the next one, Juan. Let's see if it's like someone like the Chiefs or the Jets. So here's the thing with the Jets, bro. I never want to do anything with the Jets, even though this trade probably makes the most sense, right? Like, we're getting a middle of the first round, legitimately, and then we're getting the second pick. No, we're getting the first pick in the second round, but we're giving up a third. The other one was 13 and what?
13 and 61.
For one. Do we take our Jets bias aside and take that, or do we take the Rams and hope that Francis Mauigoa is going to be there?
I say it's much more plausible that the Rams make a trade with us, so I want to make this as realistic as possible, knowing the Rams and their front office and how they could care less about their first-round picks, even though they're still basically keeping it.
Yeah.
I think this is much more possible than the other trade, so I would go with this one.
Let's roll.
All right, let's do it. All right. Well, I mean, for the sake of drafting guys, I'll just, with your consent, just reject the trade here since we already made a trade. All right. Okay. So what do we have here? Are you seeing what I'm seeing, Chad? We don't even got to talk about it. We don't even got to talk about it. I'm just going to draft Peter Woods. I'm kidding.
Control. Cut it. Cut it. I would hit with the Vince Carter. It's over. It's over.
Man.
If you do that, it's over, bro. You're like all excited, pumped up. But obviously, I know who we're going to pick here. But I do want you to break down because your boy's on here. Your boy Gerard McCoy's on here. Talk to us, Gerard McCoy. You've been on it. I'll give you your flowers. Why do you love him so much, Juan?
I mean, so with Gerard McCoy, you're getting more than just somebody who could lock down one side of the field. You're getting a run stuffer as well.
Okay.
You're getting a player that, from as far as I know, hasn't had any issues. Very good speed. Obviously didn't play last year, but before that did not miss a game from my understanding. And these corners, man, they're very hard to come by. So when you have an opportunity to get a lockdown corner like that, you take them. Unless you're a team like the Dolphins and you're building from the ground up. Where do you start building if you're a team? You start building from the trenches.
Yeah, they said it. Our front office said it. They said you build from the middle out. I'm just saying. They said middle out. So I'm with you on Gerard McCoy. I told you he'll be my CB1. The only thing that scares me is rumor had it was that if they made it deep in the playoffs, he would have played. But he was supposed to compete in the combine. He didn't do anything, Juan. I know he's going to wait for his pro day, but dude, it's been like, 14 months now since that injury. So that does make me a little weary, but people forget how dynamic he was. He was a lock top 5 had he not got hurt. But let's take the dancing 6'6", 330-pound bear that is compared to Penei Sewell.
Heck yeah, let's do it. All right, got the pick. Feeling good. All right, we got another trade offer here.
I like getting a second rounder next year. I don't like giving up the 90th pick because we need more picks. What's the next one? That's not bad. Who's on the board? Oh, I know who's here that you like.
You're seeing him. You know, I just want to reject these trades right now. So we got D'Angelo Ponds. We got AJ Halsey, which you know how I feel about him. I know McNeil Warren. I know you're big on him. You got Chris Bell there. Can't really scroll through, but yeah, just some names that stick out to me. I see Jacob Rodriguez, and you know how I feel about him, but he's not a second-round pick in my opinion. I would get him if it was the third round.
So if you press hide one right up there at the top, You have two trade
Okay.
offers. Yeah, you can scroll. I like Zion Young a lot, the defensive
Okay.
end from Missouri, and I know I talked about this in the a few pods ago. I think he'll end up a late first round pick. I mean, he's explosive. He's a big guy. I love him. He has heavy hands. I love his swim move. I like how he can dip, stick, and rip. I think he can play. I do believe that edge is a huge need for us, but I'm also in the camp of getting better picks. So go back to that trade offer in the green one. Let me see what Green Bay's is again. So we moved down 9 spots in the second, and then we're getting a third rounder for is that our fifth rounder or fourth rounder?
150, that sounds like it's the fifth round pick.
Yeah, because 32, so 30, 60, 90, 120. Yeah, that's a fifth. I don't hate that, but I'll let you decide.
If you know I'm biased, you know how I feel about our guy here. So if you're going to defer to me, you know exactly where I'm going to go with this. It's going to be D'Angelo Ponce. Now, obviously, I want to hear your side. I know you're big
Yeah,
on Zion Young, so
yeah,
we'll talk about it. But if
yeah.
if I reject this trade, that's exactly where I would go with this.
Okay, I agree with D'Angelo Pons in his explosiveness, his ability to play. I have one fear. What is he going to look like in December? Going head up on a Derrick Henry, going head up on a Josh Jacobs, going head up on a Bijan Robinson. I know he did it decently in college, and let's say good. 5'8", 1. I mean, what did John Eric Sullivan said? Fast and small. He said something fast and small, and then he said, but big doesn't get weaker. He said something like fast and or small and tiny doesn't get stronger, but big and I'll have to see what it was because I'm mixing up my words. So my only fear with D'Angelo is, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. He is a little guy, but he could be an anomaly. He could be Brent Grimes in a rebuilding team in a secondary that we need bodies. I don't think it's a bad deal. I would be more inclined to take your boy AJ Halsey before him. But again, Juan, I'm sincerely going to defer this to you. If you want to take Pons, let's roll.
Yeah, and I hear where you're coming from. To be fair though, chat, there's not a lot of corners that could tackle some of those names that you mentioned. And I'm trying to see this from your perspective. And you just mentioned another name that I'm big on AJ Halsey.
Mm-hmm.
So it's dude, I don't want to be that guy. I don't know why I put so much pressure on myself. This is supposed to be fun, but now I'm second guessing myself like if I'm the GM of the Miami Dolphins.
That's how we want to think. We want to give fans, because it's easy. We all have our pieces. I think this is what I want people to know, Juan. This is going on in draft rooms. There's going to be a guy banging the table for D'Angelo Pons. There may be 6 guys in the Dolphins war room banging the table for him. And those questions are going to get asked. It's going to, a sneak peek in the draft room is, do you remember the episode that they showed of Sean McVay and Les Snead, their GM, talking about Puka Nacua in the 5th round? Have you seen that clip?
I did not see it, no.
So there's a clip, and Sean McVay's like, "Oh, I love it. This guy, he can run routes. I'm going to implement him on third downs." Sean McVay has a plan, and Les Snead said, "I'm going to defer to you. This is the 5th round. Let's roll." So these questions are going to get asked. How is he going to do in this? And you're right, Juan. You brought up a great point. To be fair, there's not many corners that are out there doing it. I mean, there's not many 6'1" Jalen Ramseys out there who are willing to stick their nose in the dirt. I know people don't like Jalen Ramsey. He's a dog. Jalen Ramsey was putting his head in knees, bro. I guess for me, when I hear our GM talking about we need to get bigger and faster and stronger, yes, faster is a matter, but I hear bigger and stronger. When I hear we got to turn that label, you're right. I think D'Angelo Pons plays like he's 6'2", 280. I think he just does not care. I think he's reckless in a good way. My question is what's more valuable? We just got done talking about the trenches. Well, Zion Young is there. Click next to that little notepad thing so you can see what his size profile is. 6'6", 262 doesn't grow on trees, man. And we just got done talking about Keldrick Falk. He's 8 pounds less in weight than Keldrick Falk. And he's going to grow into more of a player as well. Now go to your boy AJ Halsey. I think he came in at like 5'11", 210 or something like that. 6 foot 250. Bro, he's built like a strong safety that plays free safety. Again, this is a guy that I'm all on board with what we're trying to do. Now go to D'Angelo. We already know what this is going to look like. They gave him a little bit, 5'9", 182. Juan, if you want to do it and your gut's feeling it, sometimes you just got to believe. And if you got to believe,
man.
Juan, do it.
And here's the thing, right? Because I do believe, and if you were giving me a name where I'm like, this is not one of the guys that I've selected in the mock draft, I can make that argument. But we're talking about players that I want. I would want on the team. Like, I'm looking at AJ Halsey, and I'm like, well, man, he's a ball hawk. He could run support, right? It's different when we're talking about college compared to the NFL. And if we're trying to mimic what we think we're going to see come draft day from this front office, the signs would point to a Zion Younger, AJ Halsey. So, you know what? I think AJ Halsey, because that's a name that we both seem to agree on. Let's go with AJ Halsey.
I like your style.
Let's do that. And now we get to draft again.
Yeah, because we traded and got that beautiful extra second round pick from the Rams.
Yeah.
I don't like giving up a second round pick to get 2/3. What's the next one? I don't like that either. Yeah, I say we stick with pick.
Okay, reject.
So this is why I like one that we didn't take your boy. Go on, trade in Stukes. Wait till you see the size profile on this. Yeah. 6'1", 190 feels like a more Green Bay architect if we're trying to be similar to what Green Bay does. I also do like Jacob Rodriguez, but I think I told you, I don't think I know because I rewatched it. I love Jake Golday, and if you scroll down a little bit more, I guarantee you're going to see him. Going, yeah. So I don't think we have to take him now. I think we can get him in the 3rd. I also see our boy Elijah Surratt in there, which I'm praying we can get him in the 3rd. He didn't look great in the gauntlet drill, which is fine. Let him do that. Like let him drop. Let people be stupid. I'm not a huge R. Mason Thomas guy, but I know a lot of people love that well. It's a size thing for me. He'll be a situational pass rusher to start with the hope that he'll develop into more. He reminds me a lot of someone we already have, Juan.
Really? Chop Robinson?
Yeah, dude. Really explosive athlete. Like he looks like he's running track, but I just don't see it. So if you're looking at this, I think the name we both like is the turnover machine himself, Jacob Rodriguez. But this is still the 2nd round, and I don't love that like you. So if it's me personally, I like trade-in Stukes because I think he can develop into something special, especially because, remember, our head coach's specialty is DBs.
Okay. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
And this is me just kind of putting myself out there right now. I don't know Treydon Stukes. I have not seen his game, so I can't really formulate an argument here against the kid. I really do not know. It feels wrong to draft Jacob Rodriguez this early as much as I like his game. I do like Mason Thomas. I don't see Chop Robinson when I see Mason Thomas. I like him better.
Okay.
And there's some names here that I like, but I feel they're going to be available. So
I agree.
I'll defer to you.
Okay.
And just draft Stukes. Yeah.
All right. Let's see if our boy Elijah Surratt's there. Let's see.
Yeah, this
got drafted.
Ah,
okay.
That sucks.
Because there's still 2 wonderful names on there. There's Gabe Jackas, the edge from Illinois, and there's also Jake Golday, who I love.
Okay.
But again, I just picked our last one, so I will defer to you on what you want to roll with.
I'll go with Jake Golday.
Okay.
You mentioned him before. I like his game just from what I saw on tape. I'd rather him than Gabe Jackas, to be honest with you.
And what I'll say about Jake, I think there's, again, if there was ever a poor man, Sonny Styles, he's not as fast, he's not as explosive, but he's long, he has range. He does struggle a little bit in coverage, but that can be developed. He can play in the box because he is an off-ball backer. I can see Hafley getting creative and putting him on the edge every now and then. I love him sideline to sideline. He literally looks, when you're going east to west, I mean, the guy can play, and you're going to love his size profile. Click on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 6'4", 240, baby. That next to Jordan Brooks?
That's nasty right there. Yeah, I mean, dude, say less. That's who I want to go with. I agree with you. Chad. I'm gonna make the pick.
I like it.
All right, let's do it.
So then let's see what we're at as far as what we've drafted. I
Okay.
think at the top, yeah. So the one thing they can't question is, Juan, we got bigger, we got faster, and we got stronger. These are height, weight, speed guys here. You have Francis, who's 6'6", 320. You have AJ Halsey, who's 6 foot 215. You have Traden Stooks, who's 6'1", 190. And you have Jay Golday, who's 6'4", 240. They can't question that. They can't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And, with this pick here, I think we're going to stay big. I'm looking at the name.
Do it.
We talked about it. Are we looking at the same guy, Eli Stowers?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay. Should I click on the notepad just for the audience to see?
6'4", 240.
Guy's a baller,
Okay,
man.
let's put this out here, though. Diego Pavia, that was who he was throwing to, people. That was his receiver. I know he's a tight end. If you are counting on Eli Stowers to go out there and block a DN head up, you are setting the kid up for failure. Now, I will say this. I think he can be taught. I think there's a chance, but he's never going to be George Kittle in the run game. But the dude can flex out and catch the football. His hands are glue. I think he has like a 2% drop rate. So
That's nasty.
I'm all on board. I'm all on board.
You're on board? Okay, let's do
I'm
it.
on board.
Eli Stowers. And look at that. We get to draft again.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
All right, let me go and hide this. So, let's go back real quick. So, we got a tackle. We got a safety. We got a corner. We got a linebacker. We got a tight end. What do we still need here, Chad? What would you go with?
Yeah.
Not looking at the names, just like what position would you go with?
We still need another nickel corner unless we bring back Hader Kohu. If we trade Mika Fitzpatrick, we're going to need another safety. I know we still have guys that we took last year and the year before who I think we can do well with, but you never can have enough safeties. I do think that we're going to still need edge players, so I do see LT Overton there. I also, even though I believe Francis is going to play right tackle and we find a way to get rid of Austin Jackson, even though our GM came out and said we don't want to get rid of players, I do think guard is still a need because you want to cover yourself. And obviously we need size at receiver. I know we just took Eli Stowers, but I think that a Malachi Fields can be available in the third round.
Okay.
I think he tested well. And I bet you he's still there.
Okay, let's go there. Let's see. Yeah, 131. Would you draft him now in the third round, or would you wait a little bit?
I think there's a chance, only because, Zachariah Branch, he's another smaller receiver. Brennan Thompson's another smaller receiver. Like, those guys are what we already have.
Right.
Jalen Waddle and Malik Washington, and again, we're trying to bring size. The reason I think this isn't as realistic because I know Malachi Fields after the Senior Bowl got all that love for being a first rounder. The tape wasn't first round, but he could sneak in the second, and I do believe he will ultimately get drafted in the third because he's a big 6'4", 215-pound receiver that played on a Notre Dame offense that they caught wind late, and I just think that he fell victim to it. They had Jeremiah Love, who's one of the best players in this entire draft. You have to feed him the ball over and over again. And CJ Carr, it took him a minute to literally get his kind of thing going because it was his first year truly starting. So I think we haven't seen the best of Malachi Fields yet. But I would go receiver. I would go guard. I would go another corner or another safety. I'm good with any of those. And the guard I would go with, if I did go with the guard, is Jalen Farmer, the guard from Kentucky, which he'll be there. Oh, and do we start talking quarterback now?
Yeah, that's it. I thought that's where you were going to go, but with the Dolphins, there's so many pieces. But I could see us going, quarterback right now. Your boy's still there, Drew Aller. Wait, is he?
Jalen Green. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still there. Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. They have him at 215. Drew Aller is going to be a third-round pick or better. He has too much talent. I don't think they've updated this well enough because you started to hear whispers, and all he did at the combine was freaking rip the leather off the football.
Yeah.
He looked great throwing the ball. It's so hard not to, and I hate comparison, but it's so hard not to look at him and think of Josh Allen when he threw at the combine. So
if you feel that strongly, even because this is wrong. So again, we're trying to mimic what the Dolphins are going to do, and if that's the guy, and I have seen mock drafts where he's going third. I would draft him now. You need a quarterback.
Yeah. I got to ask you something, Juan, because you sent this to me and I had saw it, but what do you put into us not interviewing him at the combine?
I mean, it could be smokescreen. It's hard to tell because this is the first year for this front office.
Yeah.
I don't want to put too much stock into it.
Okay.
I just find it very hard to believe that Carson Beck is their guy because that's one of the guys that they interviewed. It could be just smokescreen for me.
I agree. And I do know that we hired a coach that literally coached at Boise State when Taylon Green was at Boise State. So I know Taylon Green is an option. He's the toolsiest quarterback. You talk about killing the combine. He absolutely killed it. But I think for what we want to become, it's Drew Aller for me.
Drew Aller, right? Okay, let's do that. Let's go Drew Aller. So we need a quarterback now.
We need it.
Now we're gonna go fourth. I think Fields should still be there.
We're gonna find
we don't
out.
have a fourth.
Nope, we have a fifth though. Let's see what we got.
Okay, let me just hide this. All right, let me go to receiver. And he is not.
There's another big-sized receiver there, Josh Cameron from Baylor. I think he's 6'2", 220. If you click on his profile.
Whoops.
Josh Cameron right there, 159.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, 6'1", 220. So I was an inch off. He's another big guy. Again, he played in an offense where he wasn't featured as much as he could have. So there's that there. And then I guarantee you CJ Daniels. Yep.
Yeah, that's the name I was looking for. All right. 6'2", 202.
You don't have to sell me on CJ Daniels. We could take we don't. I mean, again, I don't think that CJ Daniels did enough at the combine to warrant him being taken in the top 3 rounds. I do think he'll be there in day 3. Like, I think he'll be a 4th or 5th rounder, and I think there's untapped potential there.
Here's a name that we both like.
Yep.
Jacoby Thomas. I know we need another safety, and then for corner, you got Dylan Everett there.
If you're looking for Keontae Scott, he's long gone.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. He's a second-round pick.
Yep.
Yeah, Jacoby Thomas, it would be between him and the player you just mentioned.
CJ Daniels.
Because I know we need, for CJ, do you think we could get CJ later, like in the 6th? Do we have it? No, we don't have a 6th.
No. I think realistically, it would be a Josh Cameron because that feels like a Romeo Doubs-esque pick, right? Like how the Packers, they love day 3 receivers. I think that I bet you Jalen Farmer is still there, the guard out of Kentucky.
Let me see that.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, all beef, baby. Look at that RAS score, 967, dude. He is a freak.
87.4 PFSN. Okay, so we got Farmer. We have Jacoby Thomas. We have CJ Daniels. We have, what's the receiver from Kentucky? What's his name again?
Cameron.
Josh Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 4 players. We talked about 2 receivers, a safety, and a guard. But again, going back to how this front office thinks, the trenches. So if we're trying to mirror what we think they're going to do, I think Jalen Farmer would be the pick.
I agree with you.
Okay, let's do that. I think that's it.
That might be it for us, right?
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so
recap it for us, Juan.
All right, so first round pick, we got our boy. This would be a huge success. 2 things here. Not only do we get our top guy, but we get him while also trading back and accumulating more picks. That would be a huge, huge win. AJ Halsey, know we had the chance to get D'Angelo Pons. That's my boy, but we got to do what we got to do. Right, and what did the GM say? We want to add size. Obviously, we're in need of a safety. AJ Halsey provides everything that we're looking for. Another second-round pick here, Traden Stukes. That's your guy. I honestly do not know much about him, but we clicked on the little notepad icon, and he does provide that size. To your point, he complements the run defense as well. That's something that we want, and our head coach, he has that defensive background. So if this is the pick, we have to defer to him. He knows his stuff. Jake Goldday. Every time I talk to you, Chad, you mention his name. So listen, if Chad's excited, man, I tell you guys all the time, his opinion holds weight. His word holds weight. That guy's a freak, man. Imagine that guy next to Brooks, like you mentioned. That'll be something. That'll be something
Yeah.
to see. So I'm very excited about that. Eli Stowers, love that pick, man. A lot of speed. I know that was. Yeah, I think he made Pavia. To be honest with you,
I agree.
obviously he's not gonna be good in the run block, but that's okay. That's okay. We got Francis Maino and we got Jalen Farmer. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll cover him now.
I love it.
Drew Aller. Now, I know I've talked about him before in the past and not very big on him, but we have to go with what's in front of us. And he killed it in the combine. I don't mind being wrong. I'm okay being wrong. I'm actually happy when I'm wrong because it usually ends up working in my favor. So I'm pessimistic when it comes to some of these guys. So hopefully that is the case. We are going to draft a quarterback. Chad is obviously very excited about Aller, and who would it be with what we saw from him?
Yeah.
So if he is the pick, I have done a 180. I would be excited with him. And then Jalen Farmer, right? We're adding more pieces to the trenches next to Francis Malinois. Man, Drew Aller, whatever veteran quarterback we bring in, they're going to be in good hands.
I agree.
Looking at this and, staying on topic here, we didn't get a defensive end. We got a corner, but you didn't get that lockdown corner, and I feel like there's a few of those. We didn't add a second safety, and we didn't get that nickel corner. Those are some pieces that I know we talked about that we could not draft. But do you feel good enough where you got the guys, because you still have the 6th round, you still have the 7th round. Do you feel good where you say, looking at these picks, if I could go back, I would probably swap this guy for another guy? Maybe I jumped ahead and I could have gotten an Elijah Surratt or, you know what I'm saying. How would you do this any differently?
It's so wild, Juan, because I looked at this at first and I'm like, we crushed it. And then you're right. Our biggest need is arguably edge. We didn't address it. We didn't get a nickel corner. This is here to us hoping that we get Cater Kohu back because I think people forget how dominant he was. And then obviously we drafted Jason Marshall last year who played in the nickel and he didn't do bad. We didn't draft a second safety, which let's see what we get in free agency. Again, I know that we took Dante Trader last year. And then the year before that, his name is I'm forgetting his name, but it's another safety that we drafted. But Minka's probably not going to be on this team, and that breaks my heart. But that's a huge need. And I mean, again, we also didn't draft a receiver. So it just goes to show you how much needs we have. One, I think we're going to trade Minka, which I think is going to get us a 4th round pick, and I think we'll address one of those. I do think, personally, I like Eli Stowers, but because I'm such a big Sam Roush fan, I would have probably, looking back now, maybe have taken an LT Overton or taken a from USC. Anthony Lucas, the defensive end from USC, or the Penn State defensive end that I always forget his name. I think it's like Dante or Denier or something like that. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but another bigger defensive end because we need bodies. So I could see that. But if you look at it, Francis Mainoa, starter, cornerstone player. AJ Halsey, corner or starter, cornerstone type player. Traden Stukes, he's a developmental guy, but in this secondary, he's going to be a starter. Jake Golday, you and I both agree, he's going to be right next to Jordan Brooks. They say in a draft, if you can find 3 starters, then you've won. On this, I think we found 4. And Eli Stowers, I think, will develop into a starting tight end. And you never know what you can get with Drew Aller. Jalen Farmer, again, Green Bay's notorious for drafting offensive linemen in the 3rd day and making them into starters. So this isn't crazy to say that most of these guys will be impactful. Now, what I will say is last year we did this, right? We drafted 3 D tackles. All 3 of them got meaningful snaps. Having said that, just getting snaps doesn't mean it's great. I loved Jonas Savaiinaea. He started every game. He got every snap. He didn't look good. I'm hoping we move him over to the right side and he plays right guard where it's his natural position. But if not, we got to see what we got him at left guard. But again, just because they played a lot doesn't mean they're great. But in our minds, because we have this new front office, they're going to draft guys that are ready, which is why I think both you and I are optimistic about whoever we take aside from Ty Simpson. I think that's the one player we agreed on wholeheartedly. And obviously we both said it about Keldrick Falk, but we also both said we would learn to like it, right? So all this exercise did for me is show us the laundry list of needs. And we did. We double dipped on offensive line. which we didn't have to do. So maybe we take an edge there. But we got done talking about you don't reach for players. Yes, we took Drew Aller in the third when he was prospect 215. Yes, we took Jalen Farmer at 150 when he was prospect 174. But you and I both believe that Drew Aller is going to be taken in the third round. It wouldn't shock me if a team fell in love with him and took him in the second round. So I think we did good for what we have. But again, it just showed me how many needs we have on this team, and that one-off season is not going to change everything.
Yeah, no, those are great points. I want to ask you, Chad, first round, obviously we got our guy. We got CeCe.
Yeah.
CeCe's on, let's say CeCe is there, but there's a Sonny Styles, there's a Caleb Downs, there's a Ruben Bain. Would you draft any of those guys over CeCe?
I'm incredibly biased. I think we talked about this. I'm biased because I love Francis a lot. And he solves two needs for us. If Austin Jackson stays, he plays right guard. If Austin Jackson leaves, he plays right tackle. If you have bookend a Patrick Paul and a Francis Marianoa on the same line, you have a foundation in place. Having said all that, it is incredibly difficult to say no to Sonny Styles. With what we talked about, what Jake Golday is, we said he's the poor man Sonny Styles. A duo of Sonny Styles and Jordan Brooks is like reminiscent of Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis. Like, what Jeff Hafley can do with that bunch is insane. You did throw a wrench in there. You said Ruben Bain, who, if you would have told me in the beginning of the year that was even a possibility, I would have laughed at you. I'm laughing at it now because I don't think it could. Ruben Bain fits an immediate need, and he's a culture changer. If you have those four on the board, I'm praying for a trade down to the Rams. Go down 2 picks. Because even if 2 leaves, you still get a Caleb Downs, who I have as the number 1 player. Francis Marianoa could be there, Ruben Bain could be there, or Sonny Styles could be there. So my first thing when I hear that is trade down. Only trade down as low as 13, though. But if you had to ask me right now, gun to my head, who I'm taking Francis.
You're taking CeCe? Awesome.
Yeah, who are you going? I need to know who you're going with.
I would be good with CeCe or Ruben, but I'm not going to do a cop-out. I just want to explain my reasoning here. With the Dolphins, we haven't been good for a very long time. When you get a player that says he wants to be a Miami Dolphin, or how cool that would be, and you know he's a franchise changer, that, you want to take, that's somebody you would want to make your pick. What did CeCe say? It'll be great if I could stay here in Miami. Loves it here.
Yeah.
So not only are you getting somebody who is that franchise changer, who is going to, be that anchor for you in the offensive line, you're getting somebody, I think, that's also very important that wants to be here.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before in the previous podcast. We haven't had that Dolphin where you could say, man, that was when I think of the Dolphins, this is the guy. Well, maybe Xavier Howard, but it hasn't been that way for a long time. Before, there was always somebody, within that decade that you could think of, like a Jason Taylor, maybe even Ricky Williams or Zach Thomas, right? You think of the Dolphins, and that's where your mind goes to. It hasn't been that way for a very long time when you talk about the Dolphins. So CeCe, you select him, and he's going to be here for the long haul. And he's going to pan out. That's a for sure pick. And I think it's the same with Ruben Bain. You're getting a guy that, even though he hasn't vocalized it, I know he would want to stay here in Miami. And I know that's he's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
But gun to my head, if I had to pick either CeCe or Ruben Bain, it's funny, maybe last week I would have said Ruben Bain.
Yeah.
I wouldn't CeCe. CeCe. I would go with CeCe as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be a beautiful problem to have.
Yeah.
I think if both those guys are on the board and you can trade back and take one of them, it's great. I think the beauty thing, and I know we're over time here, but I'll finish up by saying this. Those are 2 guys that committed to Miami when it wasn't cool.
Right.
We were a 5-17. They both could have went to an Alabama. They could have went to an LSU. They could have went to an Ohio State. They could have went anywhere. They could have went to FSU. They could have went to Florida. They chose to stick to their commitment because they wanted to, and it meant more to them. So they're familiar with rebuilding. They're familiar with putting on for your city. They're familiar with the grind, and they immediately come in day one and they set the culture. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of those. We are biased Hurricanes fans. That is what we will say that first and foremost. But we watched it. We watched it happen. And those are guys that they're going to automatically be fan favorites. Their jerseys are going to sell off. Francis Mauigoa, I mean, again, you see it back there. I have a Mike Pouncey jersey because I'm all about offensive line. I guarantee you Francis Mauigoa's jersey gets sold instantly.
For sure.
Ruben Bain comes here. Ruben, you will never hear us say that you have T-Rex arms, my brother. You will never hear it.
Facts.
So, in my parting words before I let you close this out, teams, yeah, Ruben Baines, his arms are too small. You shouldn't take him. I wouldn't take him. I mean, the top 10.
Hey, it's a good problem to have, man. It's a good problem to have. Hopefully that is the case. Hopefully we have some of those guys there. And, if there is a trade back, it'll still guarantee that we get one of those picks. So hopefully we have some multiple options. But very excited. It's going to be hard to be able to fill out every need that you need in the roster with just one single draft. But there's a lot of good players out there, and we talked about it. If you could get 3 starters from a draft, that is a huge success. It is very possible. It is very possible to do that here with this draft. So very exciting stuff. Chad, crushed it, brother. Very excited to see what comes next. And yeah, maybe we'll do another mock draft, a 3.0 before the draft.
We have to do it post free agency because obviously everything can change after free agency. So we have to do it after. I mean, we will tape next Thursday, right? Wednesday or Thursday, I think. So legal tamping period is Monday. That means that actual free agency opens up, I think, Thursday. So maybe we'll tape after that because then we'll see some of the big deals that come out.
Let's do it, guys. As always, thank you for listening. We do this, it's for the fans, by the fans, to the fans. So thank you so much. And peace, love, chicken grease, guys. Jesus loves you.
Later, Juan.